People will be watching this interview and you're very lucid and eloquent and you're a very bright politician. Many people wish you were still the leader. But they'll also look at you and say, hang on, this guy says we have this great stable coalition. It decimated, in that election, decimated your party, never really recovered from it since. And the result of this great coalition, where you jumped into bed with one of your political rivals, was that he then felt emboldened to call a referendum that many people now see as being catastrophic for this country. I guess that prompts the question, do you wish, with hindsight, you'd never jumped into bed with David Cameron, the man who many think has wrecked Europe?
Piers, I know you're trying to foist every single sort of sin on my shoulders, but this is getting ridiculous. Am I now responsible for the fact that the Conservatives themselves got themselves tied up in knots and held that referendum?
My question was, do you regret jumping into bed with him, with your party, given what many people view now as his catastrophic decision during the period that you were in bed with him?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't the decision he took to hold the referendum. Was when he won power on his own. It was a decision I blocked.
You said you
precisely
were arguing with him from the moment you were in bed with him about Europe. So you knew the beast. You knew what he was going to do. I mean, my only question is not blaming you. I know it wasn't you, but do you regret ever jumping into bed with the Tories? Would it have been better for you, Nick Clegg, and the Liberal Democrats if you'd been true to your principles,
Piers,
stayed out of it?
If I can just get a word in edgeways, let me break something to you which might become as a bit of a shock. Do you know what? Not all politicians are cynical. Sometimes, just sometimes, politicians try and do what they think is the right thing for the country. Clearly, the coalition between 2010 and 2015, a 5-year government, which had this huge task of clearing up the mess left after the financial crisis in 2008, the mismanagement of the economy by Gordon Brown, that government was right for the country. It was bad for the Lib Dems. So it's very simple. We actually put country before party, and the Conservatives now, in this election, are putting party before country. And I think, from time to time, what people want is politicians to put the country first.
Saint Clegg, these are bold words from you. A lot of students in the country would look at you and think that was a pretty cynical move to promise the end of tuition fees and then treble them. But I will take you at your word that you are the shining bastion of non-cynicism in an otherwise a cesspit of cynicism in Westminster, and thank God you're here.
What an extraordinary man. Right.
Nick Clegg?
You're so pompous, Piers, you really are.
What's pompous about that? It wasn't me that trebled tuition fees.
No. Look, this sort of sanctimony this early in the morning. I mean, anyway, listen, fine.
It's not sanctimony, it's a fact. You've just billed yourself. You said I should be astonished that there is no cynicism in you, right? And I'm saying it was pretty cynical, if you're a student in this country, that they believe that you, when you said you were going to get rid of tuition fees, meant it, and actually you trebled them. That's not being pompous or me being extraordinary.
Well,
it's a fact.
I think you are being both very sanctimonious and pompous, but that's your style. Listen, just on tuition fees, I did not win the election. I was not Prime Minister. Therefore, I could not implement my manifesto in full. As you may remember, or you've chosen to forget, tuition fees were first introduced by the Labour Party, and guess what? Tripled by the Labour Party. So when other people criticise what we had to do because of the terrible fiscal and financial problem the country was in, maybe sometimes it's worth reflecting that sometimes it's not easy to please everyone all the time when you don't have the money that you want to spend on everything. Sometimes in life you can't do exactly what you want to, so you have to compromise with reality. That's what we did, and I think we did it with the best interests of the country at heart, but no doubt you will disagree.